What's going on, everybody? I appreciate those of you that are hanging out, waiting on the stream to start. For those of you stopping by, checking out the replay, though, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on all notifications so you can take part in these chats whenever we do these live. So I was debating on keeping these as part of a haul, but I felt the two of them together, since they are clones or inspired by fragrances of two of my all-time favorites, I felt like they deserved their own video and a live stream. Let's compare them. Got the real deals right here. For those of you that don't know, Spectre Ghost in Fragrance World, it's supposed to be very similar to Ani. Fomo, which is Fragrance By's brand, Gary's Den, supposed to be very similar to Dior and Parfum, which is one of the greatest fragrances of all time, in my opinion. So I'm going to be super, super ridiculously critical of Gary's Den because I hold this in the highest of regards, which this, not too far off. Ani, my favorite vanilla scent. Just is. I think it's gorgeous. But before we dive into that, we'll wait till about the 10-minute mark, give everybody an opportunity that wants to be here some time to get here. So, scent of the day, Yves Saint Laurent. Why Eau de Parfum Intense? A bad boy to focus. Well, I guess this is why I hate the autofocus on this particular camera. I just got to do the manual focus, but you know, the opening's phenomenal, but the dry down is just kind of generic woody aromatic. I stay consistent with my thoughts here. It doesn't change. It smells great in the opening. It really does. It smells really good. Have it on the forearms. It settles down greatly. I don't think it's just anosmia. I've had it on for about 2.5 hours now, and it's calmed down quite a bit. I can still smell it very easily. I don't have to go, looking for it. I don't think I have any severe anosmia going on. Yeah, not at all. But it smells really good. It's just intense. No. Pleasant everyday wear. Absolutely. I give it that. I give it its due. Great everyday fragrance. For anybody who just wants something super versatile that works for everything. Yeah, it's definitely good for that. So let's see who's doing what in the chat. Ooh, got behind quick. Ryan, what's going on? Latafa Fakar Black, speaking of YEDP. I'm looking forward to this one all damn day. Let's go hit that like button. Scent of the days, Al Harmon's La Venture. Hat of the day, 5950. Minor League hat, Round Rock Express. Chupacabra from the Copa de la Diversion collection, which I don't have any from that collection, actually. That's the ones with all the skull, the Hispanic heritage skull minor league hats. Oud Lemon Mint for Adolfo. Have to catch the replay. Would be very busy. Smash the like button. All good. Thank you, Adolfo. Scott, good to see you. Blue Dog by Hez Parfums. Hell yeah. There's a new Spectre coming out next year called Wraith. That's supposed to be good. That's my understanding, yeah. Black Phantom by Killian, which I like Black Phantom. So I'll probably check it out at some point. Kevin is wearing Business Over Pleasure. Hell yeah, you smell great, sir. Scent of the day, Vertus Vanilla Oud. So AS is the one to beat. Dakota, what's going on? Hope the day is treating everyone well. Wearing Cedrat Boisé, you, sir, smell incredible. Jacob, how are you? Sick hat, by the way. Appreciate you. Thanks, sir. I didn't get a heavy sweat going because it was leg day, and I didn't do any cardio after the fact, so I didn't sweat much today. Like yesterday was a dedicated cardio. I was soaking wet. I had to take a shower when I got home from the gym, but today I didn't sweat all that much, so I didn't like take a shower and change. Like normally, if for those of you that follow my fitness hygiene, you'll see I wore one thing to the gym and then something else when we do these live streams and stuff. It's because I sweated enough to need to take a shower and change and all that good stuff. Whereas today that really wasn't the case. Had a great leg workout though. Great leg workout. Derez for Jacob. Hindu Kush. Pure Excess. Montrese, how are you? Second Soul for Dan Not the Man. Dino is wearing Calvin Klein CK1. I guess it meant Reflections. Nick, how are you? Wearing Wanted EDP. Yeah, I know what you meant, Dino. Scent of the day going along clone theme with Jean Lo Nuevo. Then it's their Terre d'Hermes Autre Fresh. Picked up Paco Rabanne Phantom gift set at Ross for $50 today. That's a hell of a good price. Homo Gary's Den coming in the mail tomorrow. Well, I was debating on if I was even going to get it. And then when the sale happened and I was making all those orders, I figured why the hell not? Might as well. Because it's either one I'm going to say is solid for the like $35 it goes for, or I'm going to say is terrible. Save your money for the love of God, guys. Save up and get Dior and Parfum. It's going to be one of those two. You know, I don't think it's going to be, oh my God, amazing. Because I mean, for what it's being compared to, this is, oh my God, amazing to me. To me, maybe not everybody, but to me, this is, oh my God, amazing. So there's just no way in hell this could live up to that. Not with the little bit I've heard of it so far. Seems like it's pretty good, but not quite exactly the same. I'm going to be my own judge here, but this is on a pedestal. So this doesn't have a chance to get to this one's level. It just doesn't. I'm trying to go into it with an open mind. So I'm hoping, I have high hopes, but I also am ready to shred if I need to. Respectfully, respectfully. I'm not gonna be an ass about it. If it's worthy of being shredded, 1981, keeping it light, Los Angeles, showered just for this. Left arm, go Spectra, and Ani on the left arm, right arm. So you got it. You're ready to go right along with me, Spencer. Damn, it smells good in the chat. We're in bond number 9, scent of peace. Quick question. That I don't know. It's a possibility from what I understand, but as far as right now, it's not happening. But it's also not a question for me to answer. That is a George Zaharoff, Joey Cannoli question. So, just got Signature Aurum. What an incredible fall fragrance. I agree. Polar Blue Gold Blend. Speaking of incredible fragrances, Lattafa's Oud Mood. Fragrance for the Caribbean. Is that a question? Because I'm not sure. I mean, I'm assuming it's a question, but I'll let you clarify if that's a statement or a question, or like a half a statement, or I don't know. It was incomplete, I guess is what we'll say. Versace Dylan Blue for Cody. So we got about 3 more minutes and we'll get into it with these two. Let's see. Signature Tobacco. Did George pay me to wear this? We may never know. George Zaharoff did not pay for this live stream. Me and Atkinson have been having some fun with that because it's just so ridiculous in the first place that we're running with it and making it even more ridiculous because it is ridiculous. Oh, man. Like when I did the Aurum review, I told them, because we did a Zoom call, the 4 of us, for Atkinson's Patreon page. And I said, I wish I would have thought about it when I did the Aurum review to say George Zaharoff did not pay for this video, because he didn't. Even though, the trolls will think otherwise. He sure didn't, because he doesn't pay for videos, So it's hilarious. But I appreciate you doing that. It's funny. First live stream, Jason Armand. What's up, Ross? Wearing Guerlain L'Homme Ideal. I'm assuming the EDT, which is a great, great fragrance. And even if it's one of the flankers, they're all great too. It's the only Guerlains I own is that line. Only one I don't have is Platine Privé. Ooh. That's tough because myself has grown on me a lot. I really like YSL myself. But I like Gucci Guilty Parfum more. I got to go Gucci Guilty Parfum here. I do like that more. Wearing Dior Sauvage. Can't go wrong. I wore the EDP yesterday. Hey, stud, scent of the day. Ferragamo Atimo. I saw you pick that up. I saw your comment in the video this morning. Good to see you. Fuzzman's in the house wearing plum. I never say this right. Japanese? I know I don't say it right. Ocean Noir from Michael Malone. If there will be a shaving set of the second round of Zed Creators. No, there will not be. That would have happened a long time ago. That is not happening. Cold and rainy, snowy here in Utah, wearing ombre leather. I don't know why you said 80. I don't. I have no idea why you said 80. I'm sure you'll clarify. Pure Havan for Joaquim. Rob, good to see you. Wearing Absolute Aventus. My sample's right here. Snagged a bottle for the low. Really liking it so far. Honestly, it's not worth $5.45. I agree. But I paid basically half of that. And I'm debating on I'm going to do a regular video because we did a live stream with it, but I'm going to do a shorter video, probably 5-6 minutes, something like that. But I'm going to put my thoughts on a shorter form video. So anybody that wants to hear my thoughts doesn't have to watch an hour plus long live stream to get all of it. So within the next couple of days, that video will come out because after the stream, I have several individual review videos that I'm doing for the next couple of days. Finally getting around to them. And that's what the next 2 days are going to be, just pretty much all individual reviews, and that's one of them because I've spent more time with it. So it does smell really good. I'm just not going to buy a bottle. Good day from Australia. Is Fragrance Shop legit? So I've never bought anything from them, but I've heard they are. I've just never bought anything from them. Urban Man Elixir. Let me talk to you. Let them know, Ken. Dior Sauvage EDP with All Perfumery Roller on my hands. That oil is really good from them. Forgot how awesome All Perfumery was. Exactly. It's been forever for me. Can't complain, Jared. Good to see you. All genres bops in the house wearing Assad. I believe everybody's favorite, Matrix agent Joel is wearing Assad today as well. I'm sure we'll see him at some point. Milano Privé is back in stock from Fragrance by anyone who cares about such things. Juan Ochoa. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and get into it here in a sec because we're hitting the 11-minute mark. So for those that are here just for the nitty gritty, I want to go ahead and get into it. Melody of the Sun is some good stuff. So scroll down a little bit. Reloaded 17. First time I see that name. Been a lurking fan of your channel. Always cool time hanging out with you in this frag community. Center of the day. Landoui Delhomme. Blue Electrique. You, sir, smell good. Welcome to the live stream. Good to have you. Let's see. So let me skip down a little bit. Testing wearing a bunch of stuff for scent of the day. So, guys, I am going to, for that Homme review, I wore it most of the weekend, getting to know this delicious fall winter scent worthy gourmand. Hell yeah. Love the hat. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. So, all right. So, on that note, we found a good spot. We're going to stop right there. So, we're going to ease into Gary's Den because, like I said, it's a tall mountain to climb to get even close to the praise that I give Dior on Parfum. So we're going to go with Spectre Ghost and see how close to Ani it actually is. So I feel like I'll have a better chance of liking this one more than I will have a chance of. And it's not that I'm looking to not like Gary's Den. It's just, man, it's going to be hard to, well, that's pretty cool. It's going to be hard to get me excited for that one. I do like that's a unique bottle. I mean, box design. Obviously, the bottle is unique. I've seen all the pictures of the bottle. So that bottle's in there snug too. Ooh, it's heavy. It is. That's a cool box. I gotta say. And then the backside's frosted. I like this with the bullet coming into the side, and then you have the back of the bullet casing here. I gotta say, French Avenue, which is Fragrance World, but I like the frosted look with the metal in the front. It's heavy. Cap clicks into place really strong. Let's see what kind of atomizer we're working with. Pressure sensitive. Ooh, that does smell like Ani. That does. Just out in the air. Seems like they did a good job. So here's what we're going to do. Because we're doing test strips. That's a great atomizer. So there we go with Spectre Ghost. And then with Ani, we'll go over here. Better atomizer than Nishane's got, I have to say. But at the end of the day, what matters is what's inside of these bottles, the juice. Because this is like $30 or something. I forgot exactly what I paid for it. If it's pretty damn close, it's going to be hard to say go with this. Which, for the sake of being able to point somebody in the right direction, I'm hoping for Gary's Den to get a similar type of thing from me. So in my right hand is Ani. In my left hand is Spectre Ghost. Creamy vanilla, spiced, effervescent ambery type of benzoin, just like Ani. Very similar. Spectre Ghost doesn't smell synthetic. Like it doesn't, on test strips, it doesn't smell like there's a big quality dip. Little bit. I can tell this is a richer scent with Ani. Ani's richer. It's a nice ambery, warm, spiced vanilla smell. Pretty similar. Just in the openings on test strip, I would say 90% accurate easily. Like it's the faintest of, I can't even really give you an articulated, I can't even really articulate what I want to say that is any kind of difference I'm really picking up on test strip. But it's on test strip. I'm sure they open up a little different, maybe even quite differently on skin. I'm not sure. But this has kind of that odd woodsy, ambery vanilla smell that Ani is known for. It's a slightly unique type of vanilla fragrance. And that's one of the things I love about it. It's definitely a more robust and thick aroma with the real deal with Nishane. It's super similar though. It really is. It's super similar. Like I said, I'm sticking to that like 90% range. Like it's not exactly the same because of the richness. Like it doesn't have that deep smell to it. That's the only thing I can really pick up as far as a difference on the test strips. I mean, if you get 6 hours out of the fragrance world fragrance, totally worth it for like the $30 it goes for. 30, 25, 28 to 35. I forgot exactly. I want to say right around 30. There's a particular note, a little nuance that's starting to come through with Ani that I'm not necessarily getting from Fragrance World. Like the vanilla is not as creamy with Spectre Ghost. I do sure as hell like the bottle though. The build, not exactly the design, which it is kind of a unique design. Let's call it what it is here. Um, but I like the heft to it, the atomizer, the build quality, the weight. It's a good bottle. It is a good bottle. And I mean, this is a generic bottle. Same bottle Roger Dove uses. I mean, same thing. Just they have their little plaque on the front and their own cap. As far as out the atom. So I'm trying to avoid skin because I have wide EDP intense on my forearms and I wanted to leave my hands free. They're pretty damn close. I'm going to go with 90% similar here on the openings. A little bit richer and creamier vanilla. That's really the only thing I can get between the two. Nishane is a little richer, a little creamier. With that said, we're going to let those settle down and dry a little bit more and we'll revisit them. Let me get caught up with the chat and we're going to get into Gary's den here in just a minute. All right. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will weigh in for you, my man. Ripped Up's wearing Greenlee. Club de Nuit milestone. Wombo Legend Spirit for Antonio. For me and Orm being complimented by a sweet old Asian lady and her husband on the way home from the restaurant. Nice car, nice suit, and you smell so nice. There you go. Looking forward to the comparison. Scent of the day is Scent Journey's Grecian Grotto. Cantaloupe tea, tobacco, honey. Very unique. Seems like lots of people we're feeling Mancera today. Lalique White. Okay, excellent choice. Oh, I love it here. Yeah, I absolutely love it here. Sorry, I got to scroll down a little bit, so I'm so behind. I haven't. I think that one's like $29 or something. I looked at it today on Fragrance Buy's website. You have to catch those Fragrance Buy restocks. They do them like every other week these days. They just did like 4 of them over the last month and a half. You need to click the notify me and put your email in so you can get it when it pops around. They go for like 180 range USD. Is what they get for the 100 mLs. This is a 75 ml. I have the old bottles. I have the 75s. I have 2 of them. I have a sealed one plus this one. Yeah, Spencer was on top of it. How are you wearing Kaid? No good platform where selling by samples next to Facebook groups or eBay. No, that's the 2 I would recommend. Sean, living life. How are you, man? Sarah Black Gold. I'm appreciating this fragrance more and more and more. I still need to throw it in the rotation. It is right here. But yeah, I think it's such a great option. Such a great fragrance. Ani goes 8 hours longer than Ghost longevity wise. Ani has a sparkle to it, but damn, they are both great. That makes sense. I'm sure on skin, that's probably something similar to what I would get. That effervescence that I get from the benzoin, that sparkly feel that you're talking about, that Ani has, even on the paper, I can see that it's kind of muted in Spectre Ghost, but it still smells really good. I mean, for the money, hard to complain. Invictus Victory Elixir. Touching the computer mouse and then putting that shit in my mouth, and the shit was flying in my mouth, and they were holding things, shaking my fucking head. That's kind of wild. It's in the day's most wanted EDP. Spectre Ghost is legit good. I'm impressed by the bottle first and foremost. I know that's just a minor thing, but the richness is the biggest takeaway here. It's a thicker aroma from the Nishane fragrance. All right. So they smell quite different. I get asked that all the time. They are not the same kind of vanilla fragrance at all. Vertus Vanilla Oud's more of a burnt vanilla with oud. Obviously, it's got the oud funk to it and some saffron spice. It's a deeper scent. Overall, it's got a lot more going on. Anise, very straightforward. Benzoin vanilla. So ambery vanilla, warm and spicy, and has this effervescence to it, the way the benzoin comes across, almost a boozy-like feel to it. Very bright at the top. That's the biggest difference, whereas much more warm and dark and funky and spiced and everything. Like there's a lot more dark elements. And of course, the biggest thing being the oud with Vertus Vanilla Oud. Wearing Ani. There you go. And we're talking about it right now. Boz is in the house. What's going on? Blue Noir is arriving tomorrow. Let's scroll down just a little bit. So, all good, Paul. The oud and Vertus. Yeah, it's not crazy strong oud, but it's noticeable for sure. Whatever, and it's not the most natural smelling oud, but it's also not the most synthetic smelling oud out there either. So I want to get into this excessive for no reason, gigantic box. That is Fomo Parfums or Fomo Perfumes, which I think it's Fomo Parfums. Gary's Den, which is basically the clone line for Fragrance Buy. Put that stuff out the way. Let's see what we're working with here. Okay, very similar to Camera's presentation. That's exactly what it reminds me of. That's a big bottle. Got some heft to it. Yeah. The hype was real. I succumbed to my sanity. Okay. All right. FOMO. So the acronym meaning fear of missing out. It's a heavy ass bottle. Very simplistic design, but it's heavy. The sucker's like a weapon. Very heavy cap. Okay, so the build quality here is really good. Let's give it a spray. See what kind of atomizer we're working with. Good atomizer. We'll give that 3 sprays. Yeah, the build quality is nice here. And then going to overwhelm the room with 2 sprays of Dior Homme Parfum because this old 75 ml 2014 formula, 2019 batch is a destructive beast monster. Oh my God, in your face powerhouse. Yeah, I said it that way. Because I mean, ooh, yeah, there it is. FOMO didn't hit me like that, but Dior Homme Parfum sure did. So I want to show you guys something. So the left hand, this is Fomo Parfums. This is Dior Homme Parfum. So the Dior is on this side. Gosh, all I smell is Dior Homme Parfum. So they both stain the paper pretty well, but you see the difference in color here versus here? That's Dior Homme Parfum. And that's all I smell right now, guys. Those 2 sprays have now engulfed the airspace here. So Dior Homme Parfum, Gary's Den. That is very much waxy Dior Homme DNA. Got to give it to him there. It definitely smells like it belongs in Dior Homme's family. I don't get a leather note, a dense leather accord like Dior Homme Parfum has. Like I'm trying to keep Dior Homme Parfum away from me. Like I got it under the desk so I can just sniff this because I don't want it to, because it's just so strong. It's already out in the air. I don't want to confuse or mix the 2 aromas to make it, I want to give this its just due. That does smell like Dior Homme Parfum though. Probably more like the new version, the 100 ml, because I've heard the 100 ml is a little fresher than the old 75 mLs, which is what I have, because that's a very dark fragrance for what it is. Damn, this does smell like Dior Homme Parfum. I got to give it to him. Fresher. Like maybe there's a little bit more citrus here. Now for the big dog. Okay, so there's more nuance and definitely a lot more dark leathery smell. It's so deep. I'm sorry. Dior Homme Parfum is one of the greatest fragrances of all time. It's so good. God, it's so good. Versus Gary's Den. They did pretty good. They did. It does smell like Dior Homme Parfum to me. The biggest trade-off, though, is I do get a freshness that's not necessarily as apparent in the original. But it has that same waxy iris, a little bit of a dark woody nuance, more so than a dark leathery nuance, because there's sandalwood. This dries into a creamy sandalwood. It changes greatly. The opening is very dark and in your face, and then it drives into a smooth, creamy sandalwood smell with the waxy iris. Oh, this has got all of that waxy iris, though, which is polarizing. Not everybody's a fan of, but I love it. Love it. See, come across a little fresh spiced, just a little bit. So it's not one-to-one. It's more inspired by. So I know Dior Homme Parfum's notes pretty much by heart at this stage. I mean, I do. So what we're going to do is, I think Gary's Den's on Parfumo. Oh. Wanted me to accept cookies, like for some reason I haven't already. Gary's Den. Okay, so it's not there. I hate to do this. Let's check for Grantica, Troll Grantica. Somebody's got to have this note break. Yeah, Gary's Den. So the cesspool, well, one of the cesspools has it. So I'm not going to look at the notes yet. I'm going to get this screen share going, and let's see. So iris, powdery, amber, woody, aromatic, earthy, vanilla, violet, warm, spicy. So I do get some spice here. Okay. So there's something spicy about this note breakdown. It's rated very highly, aromatic, spicy. So there's cardamom and coriander in here. Okay. That makes a lot of sense on why I'm getting some spice. Guys, I went in with a low expectation that it wouldn't be able to match up, but it's really good. For $35, anybody that likes Dior Homme needs this. And this is just on a test strip first impressions. It is really freaking good. It is fresher, and it's got a different nuance. Instead of all the dark nuances, it's got fresher, spicier nuances. At least fresh and spicy to me. Like this bergamot, I guess, is kind of helping the case, but that labdanum is what's going to give it any sort of leathery facet, I'm assuming, to make it smell that much similar to Dior Homme Parfum. This is Dior Homme Parfum is clearly darker and a little bit more leathery and animalic, where this is more woodsy and fresh and spicy. It still has warmth, but it's not as warm and dark as Dior Homme Parfum, at least not the 75 ml version, the older batches. Let's see what people are rating for performance. They're rating it very, very well. Of course, smells like Dior Homme Parfum. I disagree here. I don't think it really smells that much like this. But then again, to each their own. I don't get any booze. So if they wanted to say Gentleman EDP, sure. Yeah, I would agree with that. But again, to each their own. So I believe this one's supposed to be Elysium, right? No, that is not. That is something else. Soft, spicy, earthy iris. What is this one supposed to be? Ooh, yeah, that's definitely not Elysium. Ooh, that note breakdown looks good, though, huh? It is supposed to be Elysium. Boy, that note breakdown doesn't look like Elysium. Might have to give it a try. What about the red one? Illusion d'un Soir, ambery, woody, musky, powdery. Ooh. Okay, so I might have to get all three of them. I mean, I wanted to start with the one that's supposed to be Dior Homme Parfum. So what is this supposed to be? Really? Grand Soir. Well, benzoin. Okay, well, all right then. Okay. But on that note, super accurate. So before I give that a rating, we're going to give that a little time to dry down because, you know, Spectre Ghost and Ani have had time to dry down. So on a test strip, they dry down way, probably 15 times faster than they will on your skin. So you can get into the dry down pretty quickly here. This is where they get super similar. Straight up creamy, slightly powdery vanilla, little woodsy. You still have that richness over the top with Ani that is lacking a bit in Spectre Ghost. I would still stick to it's like 85, 90% accurate. And I think it's an 8 out of 10 fragrance, whereas Ani's like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I think if it had the richness, it would be right there with it with that 9.5 because Ani's a wow scent for me. Always has been. It always will be. I love it. It's amazing. That bottle will probably outlive me, but I got it. Spectre Ghost comes close, though. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, and I'm going to say it's 85 to 90% accurate. Worth the purchase if you don't want to spend, because you can get a 50 ml of this low 100s, 110, 115, 105. Might get lucky and get it for 90 something. I would still say get this, but for around 30 bucks, you're doing good right here. You're doing good. The build quality is really good on this bottle. Great atomizer that has that ASMR effect, that satisfying spray that people that are into fragrances are always looking for. You always want that great feel to the atomizer. Really good distribution, and then it puts out some good juice on a test strip. It's good. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's great actually. That's why it's in the 8 out of 10 range. And we'll give Gary's Den and Dior Homme Parfum a little bit of time. I'm gonna get caught up with you guys because I know I'm a little behind. Let's see. Hopping on a bit late. What's going on? Got Gary's Den a week and a half ago. Still trying to come around to it. Well, if you like Dior Homme, you'll like it. If you don't have a lot of experience with Dior Homme, that might be why. Because it's definitely for fans of Dior Homme. Iconic Oud with Reaver. Okay. What's up, everyone? Black Prestigium. I still need to get that. I have it in my cart right now. It's probably my next purchase. How good is Man in Black? Would you recommend it to me? So it depends on how you feel about spicy fragrances of your taste, boss. Because everybody's got a different type of spicy fragrance they like. It's warm, spicy, and has a nice boozy hit at the top. And then it transitions greatly from the opening to the dry down to a creamy, powdery, woody scent because it's got tuberose and iris with a soft wood. So it's wildly different from the top to the bottom, but it is really good. It's not as similar to Spice Bomb as the internet will lead you to believe. The opening, sure, but they go their different ways pretty quickly. I mean, very different ways pretty quickly. And it's not some monster performer. I get 6-7 hours on my skin in longevity, pretty good projection for about an hour and a half. So it just comes down to, do you like stuff like that? Because it doesn't stay the same through and through. It does change pretty drastically. Because the notes sound like you type. Well, there you go. That's how it changes on me. It's a big departure from opening to dry down, and I love that about it. Oh, you jumped on Juan's channel last night, Boz? Wish I would have saw that. Invictus needs to bring back Aqua. I mean, you never know. They might bring back a third version of it. I mean, they did 2 versions. Oh, then I don't know what the hell you're talking about then. And who is Juan? Okay, so yeah, definitely not then. To get a little break to join you. Well, good to see you, Jonathan. Glad to have you, my man. Center Days inspired by the short, going with Y EDP. So I went with the EDP Intense. Close enough, though, right? It's all Y. Y's DNA, right? Okay, there you go. Juan's Fat Boy fragrance. So it was a troll. Okay, I got you. Spray the foam on skin and let me know if you get that Play-Doh vibe in the dry down like I did as far as long. So I'm going to wear it later in the week because, like I said, I'm leaving my hands free because I got several videos I'm about to do. So I need to leave some skin real estate for stuff I'm going to spray in video. That's why I wanted to strictly do test strips right now, even though it's not my favorite way to do it. to compare back and forth, taking my skin chemistry out of it, it's actually a really efficient way to do it when you're going to compare two of, a clone versus an original kind of thing. It's actually a really good way to do it. Man, Spectre Ghost and Honey, gotta love it. So let me leave Gary's Den alone though for a little bit. Let that chill, and we're gonna come back to it and we'll give it a rating. I want to give it its just due because it's doing justice here, guys. I set the bar pretty low on expectation and it's exceeded it. Top 5 all time for me too, my man. And all of that stuff behind me, it's top 5, top 3, arguably number 1. Like, I don't think I give any fragrance more praise than that. And I've given Isola Blue a 10. And I don't praise it the way I praise Dior Homme Parfum. I think it's my favorite fragrance ever made, man. I hold it in such high regard. I only wear it maybe twice a year. I have 5 ounces of it. It's stupid. I get it. But it's super, super special to me. Super, super special. So Dior Homme Intense is very sweet and super, super powdery, especially newer versions like the last 10 years. Gary's Den more in between. No, because it's got a lot more spice going for it. It's almost like a melding of the whole line. Like I get some of Dior Homme. I get some of Dior Homme O, like the coriander and the freshness, the spice and the freshness. And then I do get some sweet from the Intense, and I get a little bit of leathery and some woods and stuff like that from Parfum. It's kind of like a greatest hits of the irises of the Dior Homme line. Kind of a good way to look at Gary's Den, at least what I'm getting on the test strip. Subject to change on skin, obviously. So, all right, scrolling down. Yeah, because I'm super behind. On a hoodie hung in my closet, I can still smell it. Closed like 4 days later. Definitely not a safe blind buy. No, definitely not. I get a makeup, lotion, sunscreen vibe. Lotion and sunscreen, I don't know, but makeup, yes, absolutely, because iris is prominent in lipsticks and stuff like that. That's why it's known as the lipstick smell. All right, scrolling down. Oh, yeah, let them know, Jared. Let them know. Let them know. I smelled the atomizer of my Dior Homme Parfum, and I can smell it everywhere. That's a special fragrance. I agree. I absolutely agree. Rebel by William Rast. I've never even heard of that. Never even heard of that, my man. I have to look into it, I guess. Yep, let them know, Kyla. Let them know about the channel membership. I just put out the vote today, literally like 20 minutes before this live stream, for the first prize option for the 2 different tiers. So those of you members that are here, make sure to go vote, that are eligible to vote, because the $4.99 level isn't eligible for those, but the $9.99 and above, those tiers are for the different giveaways. Hope it's been a good stream. Since the days YSL myself, it has been so far. Glad you're able to make it. You smell great, my man. Sample first for sure. You get a bottle. You get a bottle. Everyone gets a bottle. Ross Winfrey, come on now. End of the day, Atkinson's 41 Burlington Arcade. Half the likes to viewers. Hit that like button. Oh, yeah, no shit. We got 134 viewers and only 74 likes. Guys, do me a quick favor. Hit that thumbs up for me. It's the blink of an eye. It's that quick just to hit that thumbs up. Even those of you that are hate watching, come on now. You know you like it. That's why you're here. Hit the thumbs up. You think you want to say you hate me. You like me. If you really hated me, you wouldn't be watching. Come on. Let's be honest with one another. Google it. J.C. Penney, Rebel William Rast. Noted. That's why I asked. Some people I know in this community who are niche lovers have spoken highly of zoologists. Yeah, it's a very niche brand. Very storytelling type of fragrances. Fragrances are definitely sample first. Oh, yeah. T-Rex. Smells like scorched earth. Talk about the darkest of smokiest of resins. But I can respect the scent profiles. Like the crazy niche stuff, I can respect. No, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. So Dior Homme Intense is, like I was just saying a moment ago, very, very sweet and powdery, especially the newer versions you'll find. Whereas Dior Homme Parfum is more of a leather-based fragrance. It's actually classified as a leather fragrance more so than like an aromatic or anything like, or a floral wood, because Dior Homme's a woody floral musk. Dior Homme Intense is a woody floral musk. And I believe everywhere I've ever seen is a leather classification for Dior Homme Parfum, because it's just so dark and rich at the top, though it does change greatly to a creamy sandalwood dry down, and you lose a lot of the darkness that you get at the top, but a little bit of oud, a little bit of rose. It's very dark, very much a niche fragrance in the designer world. You know, it's immaculate. It's amazing. It's a masterpiece. I truly believe that. It's an 11 out of 10. It's a freaking masterpiece. But European exclusive for the most part. And then I've heard it's kind of difficult to find in Europe now, the 100 ml bottles. So not the easiest to get a hold of. But if you do like sweet and iris, Dior Homme Intense is a lot of people's favorite. People love Dior Homme Intense. It's a great. I have a 5.1 ounce bottle of the pre-2020 version. 2020 version, they changed the bottle. Supposedly, fragrance hasn't changed, but they said the same thing about this to the 100 ml, from the 75 to the 100. And then I've heard people say that it's fresher now. So maybe that's the case with Dior Homme Intense. I don't know. I have older bottles. But as long as you like that fantasy iris note, as it's known for, it's not natural iris. Natural iris isn't makeup bag super powdery like these types of irises are. It's called a fantasy iris note. It's man-made synthetic. It's not a real, because real iris is more of an earthy kind of boiled carrot smell. It's still gonna be powdery, but you have to make it into this, like creating the orris butter and everything. Like a natural iris takes 3 years to cultivate to turning it into an oil. It's a 3-year process. So obviously some brands don't want to spend that kind of, because iris oil, natural iris oil, is one of the most expensive oils you can buy. So this is some really, really good stuff as far as the fantasy iris note, but it's like top of the mountain for fantasy iris. But if you like that kind of stuff, you're good with any of the Dior Hommes. They're not masculine. Based on your avatar, I'm assuming you're a lady, and you can absolutely enjoy the Dior Homme line. Just because it says Homme doesn't mean ladies can't enjoy it. Trust me, there's fragrances don't have a gender. They just lean masculine and lean feminine. That's it. And this, for being a masculine fragrance, leans very feminine. So there's that. Love the cap. Appreciate you. Thanks, sir. The thin line between love and hate. Yeah, I admit the trolls are funny sometimes. Most of the time they're not. Sometimes they can be, but most of the time they're not. I'm sure you hang out in there. I'm sure you hang out in this shithole. You know. Nas hate me now. There you go. Gentleman Privé. I tend to like amber-based fragrances. Let's see. I feel like the original Dior Homme is harder to find than the Parfum these days. That's fair, because I don't recall seeing it any time recently. And the original is the most balanced. You get a little bit of leather, a little bit of woods, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of fresh, a little bit of spice, with that super powdery, waxy iris. It really is, in many ways, the best one, because you get a little bit of the whole line in it, kind of like how Gary's Den is. Gary's Den might be more like the original than anything else. So with that said, I think it's a good time. I don't know why I was skipping around. I think it's a good time to revisit these. So Dior Homme Parfum, Gary's Den. It's like a greatest hits. It's like Dior Homme, but deeper, like thicker smell. Yeah, because it doesn't have that dark animalic smell that the Parfum has. I would say to the Parfum specifically, to the 75 ml 2014 formula of Dior Homme Parfum that was discontinued at the end of 2019. And in 2020, they re-released it in a 100 milliliter bottle. It's supposedly the same, but I've heard a bunch of people say it's fresher. Okay, so going off of this, it's not even close to as dark. Gary's Den is not even as near as dark and animalic. It lacks the animalics. This is overall fresher, but has pretty much the same. It smells like the same waxy iris note. It smells the same as far as that, with some added spice. It's warm, but not as warm as Dior Homme Parfum. So overall, it makes it a fresher scent when you compare it between the two. But this is anybody that's a fan of Dior Homme, any of them, I think Gary's Den becomes a must buy for you because it's not exactly like any one Dior Homme fragrance. I don't think. Now, this is on a test strip. This is on a test strip in this moment within this, let's say 30 minutes I've been sniffing on this on and off. Heavy ass bottle though. I gotta say, build quality on both of the clones we're talking about here today is phenomenal. Well worth the 30 some odd dollars you're paying for both. That alone, there's money was spent into the build quality. They can just get cheap ass materials. But the fragrance, it's not like I said, the 11 out of 10 that I think Dior Homme Parfum is, but I'll give it a damn 9. I'll give it a 9. It's outstanding. I got to say, it far exceeded the expectations I set on it. I was ready to respectfully shit all over Gary's Den. That was what I thought was going to happen here today. I thought there's no way it's going to be even passable enough because Dior Homme Parfum is the king of designer fragrances to me. It measures pretty close. It measures up pretty damn close without being exactly like it. Like I said, it's kind of a greatest hits of the Dior Homme Iris fragrances. Like a little bit of all of them is in Gary's Den on the test strip this one time. I'm sure it'll open up and change greatly once I introduce it to skin with my natural oils. It'll probably be darker. Darker nuances tend to fall flat on test strips, even though I'm getting a lot of dark here. That just shows how dark this is on skin. This is the original. Gary's Den warrants a 9 out of 10 from me. I'm impressed. I'm very much impressed. So this weekend, we got a cool front moving through. I'm gonna wear it for that. Gary's Den, any of you that like Dior Homme, get it. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm kind of saying you should. If you like Dior Homme, you'll absolutely enjoy this. It's a good one. I'm gonna buy the other two now. If they can do my favorite fragrance justice close enough, I'm going to get the Elysium and the Grand Soir clones too. Anybody wants to check these out, I got links below. They're affiliate links that help support the channel. But Spectre Ghost is good, but it doesn't impress me the way Gary's Den does. If I was going to get one, it would be Gary's Den. Damn. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Even Mystique and VOP are my top favorite Iris fragrances. Well, I try not to be biased and leave my two fragrances out of it because both of my fragrances are Iris fragrances. Iris is my favorite. So, Givenchy Gentleman lines right behind them. Dior Homme line. I'm still trying to like. Teach their own. To hot yoga. Uh-oh. The usual Paul and Boz banter is back and forth. Here we go. Good evening, everyone. Scent of the night from the UK is Latafa Nebras. I've never tried that one. Boz, I know you're a big fan of Fusion D'Essai Extreme. I know you're a big fan. You wore it again a couple of days ago, too. I've been watching since 2020. I had a feeling. A lot of people go in there to get a good laugh. I get it. When it's not you, it's funny, right? So. What's your opinion on Maison Alhambra Tom Ford clone? So I've tried a few of them with Nathan, Paragon Fragrances, for those of you who don't know who that is. I used to live right next to him down the street from him when I was in Colorado Springs. Shout outs to Nathan. And they are pretty close. My favorite one was Porto Neroli. It was a really good clone of Neroli Portofino. I got to say. Toscano Leather was really good too. The Tuscan Leather clone. So let's see. First Elegant Homme, apparently a direct clone of the original Dior Homme. I'll keep that in mind. Dior Homme 2020 is my favorite. Most people enjoy it, especially if you're not a fan of Iris and you like woodsy based, woody aromatics. It is really good. Sunday Bleu de Chanel Parfum. What's one note you'd like to use more often that isn't common? That's kind of tough. Because I do like a good Gaiac wood because you get a little bit of a tart smokiness with a rich woody nuance. I love when that's used. And it gets used a decent amount. Your own Parfum is sold. I'm assuming you meant sold out with Fragrance Body. Yeah, it's sold out right now. They will be restocking it at the end of the month, though. That's one of the things that's being restocked because they got a Black Friday sale. That's going to be happening obviously for Black Friday, and I know that's going to be one of the big restocks. They got a bunch of stuff they're going to be restocking. That's some like heavy hitters that people are always after. And the gym yesterday, not your typical gym fragrance house. I don't know how anyone can hate watch you so kind and hum, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's I've got my share of other fans, I guess is what we'll call them. So to each their own, but I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. Oh shit, 9. Oh yeah. For Gary's Den, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking at best it was gonna get like a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of me. It got a 9 out of me. It's too good. It's too good to not. It deserves it. I had Gary's Den in my cart, but I honestly wanted to wait for your opinion of it first. So I got Rare Carbon. That's good. And Assad. Those are really good. In the meantime, I've seen other reviews talk about it, but value your opinion most. I appreciate that, Adam. Thank you so much for the trust, my man. That's the kind of stuff I take super serious with you guys. But again, there's no guarantees that I think it's a 9. You might get it and think it's complete shit. Everybody's got different tastes, man. You got to keep that in mind. Would you compare ATH Homme? I've never tried that one from Aaron. I've only tried a few of his, and that's not one of them, so I'm not sure. Both based on your reviews and suggestion previously. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Trying to decide between Chrome Extreme and Blue Noir EDP. I haven't tried that one. I have the EDT Extreme and the Parfum. So, yeah, that's the thing. I can't really. So I believe the EDP is a vetiver-based scent because the EDT Extreme is a very fresh and peppered vetiver. But I mean, more out the shower fresh. I can tell you right now, Chrome Extreme is that. It embodies that shower gel smell, aquatic, all that good stuff. I'm probably going to be Chrome Extreme, even if I had experience with Blue Noir EDP. Just based on what I know about Blue Noir EDP, it's probably still Chrome Extreme. Put it on the skin right now. We don't want to wait for a cold front. So, damn it. Fine. I wanted to leave that little bit of skin real estate for the videos I'm going to do. That is a big spray. That is definitely a big spray. Damn it, Ryan. Just for you. It's more like the original Dior Homme than the Parfum. I'll let some of that alcohol wear off. Give it a second. Got Gary's Den. It's pretty damn good. To Dior Homme Parfum, I'm going to say no, just based off of smelling on the test strip. Close, but not the same. But, I mean, it's not like they're niche. It's not Dior's private line. It's like higher level to designer without being private line designer. I know it's kind of weird. I love broccoli. $5 super chat. Will you ever review Montagne? It's either Montagne or Montagne Parfums clones. I wonder if they're any good. So I did review one of them. It's their Oud for Greatness clone many years ago. But I don't really dive too far outside of the norm of what I know. Like most of the time when it comes to clone houses, I review the stuff that most people request or the stuff that really interests me. And nothing against the house. Like the Oud for Greatness clone I have from them is really good. Just they never come to mind. They're not in the forefront of my mind, and I don't see anything from them. So I never think to, honestly. But I appreciate the $5 super chat. This is spicy. It's almost like its own Dior Homme flanker. Now that I get it on skin, the spice is popping off. It's like it lacks the darkness of Dior Homme Parfum, even on skin. It's got a little bit of it's dark and warm, but when you compare it to this, it's not near. It doesn't have the same animalistic tone to it, like oud leather. A little bit of a leathery facet, but that's that labdanum note that we saw. That's got to be what that is. But the spice, I get a lot of spice. A lot of spice. It's much warmer than it was on the test strip. So warm, spicy Dior Homme. Not Dior Homme Intense. It doesn't have that kind of sweetness. It doesn't have the heavy leather oud rose deal of Dior Homme Parfum. it lacks the freshness of Dior Homme. Like on the test strip, I would have thought some of that was in there, especially seeing coriander. It's like, oh, okay, maybe. Nah. This is like the unreleased Dior Homme spicy flanker, is how I view this one. 9 out of 10 I'm sticking with, though. It's great. It's outstanding on my rating scale. I like it a lot. All right, scrolling. Damn, this is good. You mean Camaro Homme Intense? They're not the same. Camaro Homme Intense smells like Dior Homme Intense. This doesn't smell like Dior Homme Intense. I was just talking about how it doesn't smell not Dior Homme Intense because Dior Homme Intense is so sweet. This does not have all of that sweetness. This has all the spice. So they're actually quite different. Quite different. Smelled that hoodie. Still there. Popped on some sprays. I was a slacking of Gary's Den. It's growing on me. I'm sure I'll like it more soon. Okay. L'Homme Ideal EDP is a beautiful cherry fragrance. Cherry almond. You got to like sweet because it's definitely very sweet. Great date night fragrance. Great during the day, though. I think it's really good during the day, too. It's kind of understated. I haven't worn it in a while, though. But it's beautiful. Every fragrance in the line is beautiful. That whole line. Like I said earlier, I have all of them minus the newest one, Platine Privé. Crazy Compliment smells incredible. Nate's been dabbling. He's got oils. He's been blending for months and months now. I saw his setup last time I was at his place. I haven't. So I've addressed this a few times. The reason I haven't gone after it is I hardly ever wear Blue Electrique. So it's like outside of just getting it to just review it and never wear it, because that's what would happen. That's why I haven't bought it, because it's like I never wear the real one. I have the real deal, and I never wear it. And I like it. I just never reach for it. So it's like, why get the clone? It would literally just be to do a video. And I try to avoid the just to do a video purchases. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't do some of those. We all do that to do the videos for you guys that we know you're going to want to see. But it hasn't like grabbed me like, you know what, I really need to try that. Not like something like these two where it's like, okay, the originals are two of my absolute favorite fragrances. I got to see how close they are. Kind of like with the Le Male Parfum clone, the Wila Parfum clone. Like that's some of my favorites. I want to see how close they got with those. So I'm not saying I won't get it. I'm just saying it's not really heavily on my radar. That's a good question. That's a damn good question, actually. Let me think. There's one last night that I sprayed on my arm. What did I spray on my arm last? La Nuit de l'Homme. Up close, a little funky. Out there, magic. Last night, I sprayed La Nuit de l'Homme here. What did I spray right here? I had something here, and then one on the bottom side for the fall video. Like I was pulling out all kinds of fall classics. That was the video today. And I couldn't help myself but spray a few of them. I had 1 Million Lucky here. I had Privé here. 1 Million Lucky here, 1 Million Privé here, and La Nuit de l'Homme here. And La Nuit de l'Homme was the one that up close, it was a little funky with my nose right up on it. And then when I pull away, it was just that magic of La Nuit de l'Homme. So that's one, actually. It's funny that you asked that question because I literally thought that last night when I smelled it. Like, damn, it's really not that good up close. A little funky. It's hilarious that you said that. Ooh, choose wisely, boss. That could be a bad move. Choose wisely. I would interlude Black Iris. Well, that is a good one, but I would still encourage you to sample it first. And can't do aquatics. If you like fresh and weak stuff like I do, try something like David Beckham. I'm drawing a blank. I'm picturing the bottle. What's the name of it? It smells kind of like Sean John 3 a.m. Damn it. Hold on. I got to figure out the name. There it is. David Beckham Classic. This is a great gym scent. It smells similar to Sean John 3 a.m. Allow. This would be one for those of you that don't like aquatics, but you want something that smells really nice, fresh, and maybe a 3-4 hour fragrance, nothing crazy. This You can get it for like 12, 15 bucks for 90 ml, I think it is. It's nothing crazy special, but see the gin accord and everything that kind of, I don't even know if other people rate it as Sean John 3 AM, but it reminds me of Sean John 3 AM. Spice Bomb, no. Encre Noir Sport, no. See, some of this is craziness, but very much gives me a similar aroma to Sean John 3 AM without that bitter fig. So this is actually quite nice. I would say something like this if you want to, what I think, similar taste of mine with gym fragrances, weak and fresh, but something that's not aquatic. Something like that. I think would be good for that. Touch Pour On works well for me. That's another good one. LOL, my heart is happy. I did that just for you, Ryan. Just for you. Dish soap does a good job on washing since on hand if you need that. Well, I'm going to. I'm absolutely going to. So you do it without. So for those of you that don't know the trick, you get Dawn liquid. You don't wet your hands. You don't wet the soap. And you literally rub in the soap and lather it real good. It pulls the oil out of your pores. Then you do a little bit of water and keep rubbing. A little bit of water, keep rubbing, make it a process. And then you just normally wash your hands to get the rest off. You got to go with the concentrate. That's what's really going to pull the oils. That's what, like in between videos, when I need the skin real estate, as I like to call it, when I need it back after doing something, I'll go do that. And it can be tedious to really get rid of the oils, but you'll really get rid of the oils and have fresh. It'll smell like soap for a little bit. Just take a little break, let the soap smell fade off, and go back to spraying fragrances. That's one of the tricks to the trade. Know who taught me that? George Zaharoff. Yes. The OG is terrible. The OG is absolutely terrible. The Eau de Parfum is really good, though. It smells like what the EDT should have been. Or the original, anyways. The original might be an Eau de Parfum. But the Eau de Parfum smells like what the original should be. You shot my first non-shorts YouTube video. I wanted to do a short 1 minute, wouldn't cut it. I saw it had something about you set up a live stream. When I clicked it, it said the video didn't exist. I was like, Spencer's going live with it. So I clicked it, and it was video doesn't exist. So I don't know what happened earlier. You haven't steered me wrong yet. You got me into Iris fragrances when you reviewed Davidoff the Game. It's one of my best cheapy pickups of the year. So I've frequently been hooked on Iris ever since. And look, that's super entry-level stuff too, man. There's a whole new world ahead of you if you want to explore Iris. There's so many different ways that Iris can come across. So like I got asked this a little while ago, like 5 minutes ago. They're so different because Gary's Den is very spicy. Yeah. Whereas Camaro Homme Intense smells like Dior Homme Intense, which is very sweet. Now, granted, Camaro Homme Intense smells more like an old formula of Dior Homme Intense, which makes it not as sweet as newer versions, but this is definitely a bit spicier. I would say they still have just as many differences as similarities, but I mean, I gave them both a 9 out of 10 because they both warrant it. Camaro Homme Intense got a 9 out of 10 from me too. That's one of the best Middle Eastern cheap clones I've gotten this year. That's top 3 of the year for me right there. So I really can't pick between the two because they have such different nuance to them. Still going to buy it. It sounds good. Probably be too much for me. Yes, Dior Homme Parfum is a masterpiece and special. Got mine from Fragrance Buy. I saw it again last week. Couldn't believe it was available for 5 days. I was shocked it went that long too. I think they just stocked so many because they're so used to it selling out in 20 minutes, usually less than an hour, that they were like, let's get as much as we possibly can this time. Jared with $5 super chat. Dior Homme Parfum, love the 3 OGs of the brand for what they did for the industry. Yet it's just something about that Dior Homme Parfum. I agree. Newt letting them know, slap that like button. We got 107 likes, 120 viewers. I appreciate you guys. We'll be shutting it down here in just a few minutes. We're coming up on the 1 hour and 5 minute mark. Homme Absolute is very similar in some ways to Spice Bomb, but more of a creaminess to it. Like it's not as aggressively spicy. And I get like 6 hours. If you believe everything you read on the internet, it's like 2 hours and it's gone. And for some people, that might really be the case, but I get like 5 or 6 hours out of it. It's not some crazy performer, but it's actually quite nice in the evenings. I haven't sprayed it in a long time. The bottle looks cool. It's arguably the coolest Homme bottle, I think. That painted black with the yellow letters, it's cool looking. Steelers fans, it's like you should have it just because of Steelers colors. If you're a big time Steelers fan, it's the fragrance bottle for you. Matter of fact, Randy, if you see this, you need Yupom Absolute. You're a Steelers fan. Outside of that, it's nothing super special, but it is pretty nice for what it is. If you can get it for like $30 or less, I think that's around what I paid for it. It's a decent pickup. It's not going to remind you of everything, but it's also not unique. But it's a nice evening wear spicy fragrance. Yeah. A little creamy, woodsy, smoky. It's good. It's very good. It's just not great. It's in that 7.5 range. It's very good. Yes, I do. I have L'Homme Ideal Cologne, I think is the one you're referring to specifically. I have 100 ml, and then I have a sealed 50 ml I got for $20 at TJ Maxx years ago. This one got Gary's Den. The quality for the price is great. I also got the Leighton exclusive clone. You plan on getting it? I think it's great. 9 out of 10 for me. I've never even looked into it, honestly. Not going to say no. I just haven't checked it out. What's going on, Sally? 100 Silent Ways X from Nishane. Ooh, coming with a heavy hitter today. More than Blue Electric. Go figure. Hey, teach their own. Teach their own. I just haven't tried it. 999 Super Chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate all your content. Love Dior and Parfum. Found it a few months ago at Fragrance Buy. Saw it again. Oh, damn. So you retyped it and gave a super chat. Man, you didn't have to do that. Yeah, I'd already read your comment. But I sure appreciate the donation to the channel. That goes towards all the fragrance hauls and all the fragrances I buy, which we've got a pile of them right there. I got a pile of them on the counter in the kitchen for some stuff that came in, which both of these came out of that package that I opened yesterday. That the rest of them haven't been on the channel yet. I'm trying to split them up a little bit because I don't want to make just ridiculously long recorded videos. I try to limit those. Like today was a long one. I try to space them out a little bit because we do live streams all the time too. Hour plus. I mean, here it's an hour and 7 minutes. So, but I sure appreciate the $10 super chat, man. Thank you. It's like before two for a minute. Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum would have been better with less rosy sweetness. That's one of the options for the $9.99 and above tier for the giveaway this month. I figure that's such a beautiful, unique fragrance. Let me throw that in there, see if people voted that they want that to be the main giveaway. Which, I mean, we might as well read off everything for those of you that either are members that didn't see the poll yet, or those of you that were maybe contemplating on joining for this month. Now, the niche tier is one main prize, which is Hall of Fame tier and above. It's $24.99 and above. That's one spin, but they're also eligible for the 3 other spins at the $9.99 tier. So the $9.99 tier, the main prize, second prize is something random that I picked. Third prize is a mystery package, samples and decants. So first prize right now, what's leading the way is Prada Amber Intense, 100 ml. We also have an option which in second place currently, Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense, 100 ml. YSL Myself, 60 ml. Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum, 90 ml, has no votes. So that's not going to make it. EDP Intense, 60 ml, also has a few votes. So that's the 5. Prada Amber Intense, Brioni Intense, YSL Myself, YSL EDP Intense, YSL Y EDP Intense, and then Gucci Guilty EDP. That's the 5 choices for the $9.99 tier. And then for the niche tier, Electimus Trajan, I'm not sure how to say it, which my bottle just came in yesterday. Parfums de Marley Leighton, 125 ml. Amouage Enclave leading the way, 100 ml. Nishane Hachivat X, 50 ml. And then Zaharoff 40 knots, 100 ml. It's kind of a close race between Enclave and 40 knots right now, with Hachivat X and Leighton being in a tie, with Electimus not having any votes currently. But that's the current giveaways for the month as far as the main prize for those 2 tiers. Like I said, for the $9.99 tier, there's 2 other spins, but the $25 tier, the niche tier, is eligible for the niche spin. So I say spin because it's a wheel spin. We do it in a member live stream at the end of the month. There's the niche spin, and then you're also eligible after that because whoever wins it, their name gets pulled off the wheel, and then whoever didn't win that's on that tier then moves on to the other 3 spins. You're still eligible to get the other 3. So just to let you guys know, for those of you that are in it and haven't seen the post yet, and those of you that just wanted some information. And even if you didn't, you heard it anyway. So there you go. Boss Bottle. Ooh, damn, that shit's synthetic. Yes, it is. Yes, it smells like Boss Bottled plus a very synthetic oud. That's one of the most synthetic smelling, unnatural oud smells I've ever. But I like it. I weirdly like it. And it does. I totally agree with your statement here. So what do you think matters the most? Close up or in the air? Oh, hands down in the air. Because when someone enjoys it in the air, they want to smell it up close, and they might not be as enjoyable. Well, I look at it this way. You're not going to walk around doing this all day, right? You might on occasion just to check it out. But whatever your sillage is, that's how you're going to smell yourself from time to time, depending on how it performs on you, how much you sprayed, and all that good stuff. So in the air is always going to be the most important for you, let alone those around you. Obviously, that's how they're going to smell it 99.9% of the time too, unless they come in closer. But I would say in the air is hands down more important. Okay, good. Well, then by all means. 500 likes, let's go. Center of the day carries in. 500 likes, we need 500 viewers. We got 121 likes. That's cool. Yeah, that'd be a little wild. Also like that. Harsh up close, but very pleasant. Yeah, it's very harsh up close. It's super salty up close, man. That sea salt amber bay leaf combo, it's potent up close, but it screams off the skin. That's the real Invictus Intense. I said that not long in a recent live stream. I mentioned I think they named them wrong because Invictus Intense is just Invictus with whiskey. It's a sweeter boozy Invictus, whereas Invictus Legend actually smells like an intensified, more aquatic, salty, ambery version of the original. It's not as sweet and it's way more pungent and intense. Legend is the true Invictus Intense. I did. That's who taught me that. George was the don't use water. Do it for a while without it. Lather it up. And sure does. It gets the fragrance oils off your skin better than if you were to just throw some soap on and just start washing your hands with water. Yeah, you're going to get some of it off. No matter how good you wash your hands, you're going to get some off, but you're not going to get it all off. Whereas if you do it at its highest concentrate without water, that's really going to pull it. That's going to pull the oils off your skin. Shout out to GZ. The video instead of the live, not ready for that yet. Baby steps. All good. Bottega Veneta Pour Homme. Justin's a big fan of that one. I've never tried that. Have you ever tried a fragrance and disliked it, but a month later tried it again and thought it was actually quite nice? Versace Dylan Blue. I did not like that fragrance at first. YSL myself, I did not like, but I wasn't a big fan, and every spray I like it more. I really, really like it now. Wanted EDP new release. It's still my least favorite designer release of the year, but it's growing on me. I'm starting to appreciate it more. It's just taking a little bit. Sometimes I got to grow on you. I don't not like it. I just don't love it. But Dylan Blue, I straight up did not like it first. It took me like 5 wearings before I decided to finally get a bottle because I had one of those little mini bottles, and I put it in a little spray decant. I did not like it at first at all. I was like, how do people praise this fragrance? I don't get it. Now I love that fragrance. Oh, yeah. Trashing Elysium Performance. All the Roger fragrance notes seem similar, and there are so many. Man, you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt, man. Just even with me, no matter how much you want to trust my opinion, it's still just my opinion, and yours may differ once you actually experience these fragrances. But, man, you got to remember, there's no accountability with anonymous profiles on the internet. Whether it's trolling or genuinely their opinion, it's hard to tell because it's an anonymous profile on the internet. The most gangster motherfuckers in the history of the world are anonymous profiles on the internet because there's no accountability or repercussions for what they say and do on the internet. And I'm not saying that's always the case with the fragrance reviews on Fragrantica, but then it happens a lot. But the Elysium Performance, it gets blown out of proportion because like I get around 6 or 7 hours with the Parfum Cologne, the blue bottle, which is the one that usually gets trashed for performance. And some people do genuinely get 3 hours, but the 30 minutes thing, that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. I'm blowing my whistle, throwing my flag, personal foul, roughing the passer. That's bullshit. None of those last 30 minutes. I don't care how fresh. It's anosmia most of the time. Your nose just wears out to certain fragrances, and Elysium Parfum Cologne is good for that. It's really good because even though it's a Roger Dove fragrance, it's got its share of synthetics in it that'll just really attack your sense of smell, and you'll go nose blind to it pretty quick. So the 30-minute stuff, don't ever believe that, especially for these niche luxury. Don't believe that shit. 3 hours, I would believe people getting that though. That skin chemistry, olfactive perception, your ability to detect it over time, it all varies from person to person. You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's hard to tell what's genuine and what's complete bullshit because there's both. So I did indeed. I haven't opened it yet. It's right here. Still sealed. Sure did. Sure the hell did. No thoughts yet. So the next haul video is the pile that's right there. That's the 2 Stronger With You flankers, which we'll just do those at the end as a revisit because I've done a review on Stronger With You leather and then Stronger With You oud we did on a live stream recently. So we'll revisit them. And then the other one's going to be the Jacques Fath fragrance, as well as I've got a Bon Parfumer fragrance that came in from a new special blend line. And then I love Mercedes-Benz signs. So when I saw they had the flanker, Sign Your Attitude, I said, yes, please. So I bought that because you guys know I love my Mercedes fragrances. So I had to buy that. So it'd be like 5 fragrances in the haul, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. And then this is going to go in one of the mystery boxes. This is an Ormond Jane travel atomizer that they threw in that I don't even know which fragrance it is. I didn't look. And I think we'll let it continue to be a mystery for whoever gets the next round of mystery stuff. This will be one of the many that goes in there. So put that there for now. But we'll be shutting it down here in a second. We're an hour and 17 minutes in. We try to get caught up. Nick, what's going on, big dog? How are you? Scrolling down. What's a fragrance you have where you love the smell, but Beast Mode Performance keeps you from wearing it? I got a lot of those. I just sprayed Tobacco Vanille cologne that I have, and it's so goddamn strong I never wear. There's certain ones that I just don't wear because they're so strong. Enclave being one of them. It overwhelms my wife. It's very situational. Like the first time I wore it, I sprayed 4 sprays, and that was a mistake. Absolute mistake. It's crazy. Now I usually do 2 sprays, and it's been a while since I sprayed it. But that's one that comes to mind immediately. I never wear it because it's so strong. This, it's just so powerful. My God. I don't know what the 100 mLs do, but the 75 mLs, nuclear, bomb, crazy. I've never done more than 4 sprays. I've dialed it back to 2. The last time I wore it, I did 2. And this whole apartment smelled. I wore it not long ago since we moved here. I wore it in the evening, 2 sprays. Whole apartment smelled like Dior and Parfum. This was like a month and a half, 2 months ago. So we've been here we've been here almost 3.5 months now. I wore it in the evening randomly because I was talking about it for a video and I was like, I want to spray it. I gave 1 behind the neck and 1 on my forearm. Man, fill this in. This is not a small apartment. This is a big ass apartment. Yeah, so this is one of them. We're literally talking about it today. So those 2 immediately come to mind. Amouage Enclave and Dior and Parfum. I love them. Love the way they smell. Especially you guys hear me ranting about Dior and Parfum. It's just too damn strong. It's just too damn strong. I mean, I do. I'm sure somebody else here does. Been preoccupied with other things lately, but I'll check out that poll. Well, Boz, your level's not eligible, unfortunately, my friend. That's the next level up is eligible for. You can't even see. You can't even see because the 499 members don't even see those polls because you can put it out according to the tier levels, and it's not even visible for you, my man. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I'm just telling you, shooting you straight here. It's you won't even be able to see it, my man. Voted for Prada Amber Intense. I have a feeling that's gonna win because that's a special fragrance right there. They still have stock of it for $90. I was like, man, how can I not pick that one while I can get it for a good price? It's readily available. I love it because I usually pick stuff that I love to throw out there to see what y'all are interested in. And usually the stuff I think is going to win wins most of the time. Like this has got a pretty good lead so far, but then again, it doesn't have not everybody's voted yet. So you never know how it's going to go. And look, there was a chance you were going to hate it because that seems to be a very polarizing fragrance. And it's my favorite Boss bottled flanker that I have. It rocketed to the top over the Elixir and even over the famed Intense Eau de Parfum, which is the ultimate version of the original's DNA, but best fragrance in a Boss bottle, because not all of them smell like Boss Number 6. That's my favorite because it's just so strange. Sticky green resin. It's a sappy, green, resinous, woodsy fragrance. It's weird, earthy, but fresh. I love it. I love it. I'm glad you like it, my man. I love it. Layered with Aqua Universalis Cologne Forte. Have you tried doing it? I don't own both of those, and I'm not the layering type. But as long as you're enjoying it, you go ahead with your bad self. You know? Just got in Orem. Excited to give it away. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. I wore it twice last week. I'm going to take a break this week to mix it up because there's a lot of individual reviews I'm doing. But I say that because I want to wear Evening Mystique this week. I actually bumped it 2 days in a row. It's right here. I want to wear Evening Mystique this week. It's been a little while. I finally have the weather to wear Evening Mystique. Getting my Ancre Noir a l'Extreme and Sport coming in. Hope I love those. Also, Body Out Oud Sublime. Refakat a few days later. You got some good stuff coming in, man. L'Homme L'Intense has to be the most underrated. Man, preach, brother. That's my favorite one. I have my travel atomizer for my gift set. I keep right here so I can pull the cap and sniff it whenever I want. That's L'Homme L'Intense. Ideal Intense. It's the best one. That smoke accord makes it special. The Buffalo Bills. Honestly, I traded Blue Electrique with anyone who has L'Intense. There you go, guys. Anybody that's got Galan L'Homme Ideal L'Intense and wants YSL La Nuit de L'Homme Blue Electrique, Chad's looking to trade. John Carlos, yeah, for sure. So let me try to get to the bottom here. Oh, we got another super chat. Reality check, $10 super chat. God willing that you're able to continue the story that you started with Business Over Pleasure and Evening Mystique. How far down the line would you say a blue fragrance would be in your story? Well, really, Business Over Pleasure is more of a blue fragrance than it gets credit for. That's why I called it if you look at the title of the video, it's a Blue Iris Oasis was how I titled it, because it's very much a blue fragrance, an iris-based blue fragrance. It's very versatile, a lot of freshness. It's not loaded with synthetics, but it's very much the mass appealing, easygoing, easy to wear type. Because here's the thing. If I was to ever get an opportunity to do a third fragrance and I just do a blue fragrance, too many people are going to bitch about it because it's a blue fragrance and they've been done to death. You know what I mean? So in these opportunities, because I'd love to make a blue fragrance, but when you get opportunities like this, do you really want to make something that's on the generic side? You know, even if it's like the greatest blue fragrance you've ever smelled, you know, still blue fragrance. And there's still going to be people that are saying, well, it smells like this, or, oh, he cloned that. And avoid that shit. You don't want that stuff. That stuff's going to happen anyway. People are going to be reaching, looking to say it smells like this, it smells like that, just to try to tear you down. Take it from me. So while I love blue, hell, I'm wearing a blue fragrance today. Love my blue fragrances. When it comes to opportunities like that, you want to try to make something that's truly special. And it starts with truly special to yourself. And both of those are truly special to me. They speak of my personality. It's the two sides to my personality, the professional side and the much more lackadaisical live stream, I guess you could say. The personality you get on the live streams is more of Evening Mystique. Whereas my work life in the professional setting where I was before, what I was doing before was Business Over Pleasure. Makes sense? So I would love to do a third. It's not a blue fragrance. I already know exactly what I want to do. I've written up everything I would want to do, what I'd like it to be, notes, pyramids, accords, style, story, name, everything, design ideas. This doesn't turn off, guys. This doesn't turn off. It's always going. So in the event I ever get another opportunity, whether with Zaharoff or somebody else, I know what I want to do. But I appreciate the $10 super chat and the conversation and a great question. Thank you. Ooh, I hope you like it, Boz. That's a special fragrance. It's not worth the money, though. It's not worth the money. It's special, but no fragrance is that kind of special to me. Shouts to the chat. Nice to have like-minded individuals sharing experiences. Thanks, Ross, for your time and knowledge. Nice to see you still have a passion for this. Continued success, bro. I love this stuff, man. I absolutely adore this. I mean, it's my favorite thing in the world besides my wife and my dog is my fragrance hobby. Turn those lights on. It's getting a little bit darker in here. Because of the exposure, I got to close the blinds. Because for some reason, I had to stop using this because it zooms in on the image. And I've tried every setting I could think of on the camcorder itself and on StreamYard. It's ever since they did an update to StreamYard like 2 or 3 months ago that I can't use it anymore. So I'm forced to use the Logitech webcam, which isn't the end of the world. The exposure, the quality, it's not near as good as my Sony Handycam, which is what I do my videos on, which actually my capture card is a lower, it's a 1080p 60 frame per second capture card, Elgato, whereas this is a 4K camcorder. So anytime you see 4K stuff from me, it's slightly upscaled because it downgrades the image, even though I record in 4K, because I'm doing it directly through the computer, through that capture card. It weirdly records it at 1080p 60, even though I'm recording at 4K 30 FPS. It's weird. So it's strange. So it's not really as good as it could be in these videos. Unless I'm like standing up doing something over there, then it's just recording directly to the SD card, the SDHC card. Then yeah, it's true 4K the way it's recording, because then I just transfer it to the computer and edit from there. I know that's more than you asked, way more than what you asked or mentioned, but man, I love this stuff, Spencer. I just do. I'm glad to have you here, man. You've been super generous to the channel to always get like Boz. Boz is a member because you gave him a membership. You're always doing gifted memberships randomly to people. Super generous guy, Spencer. I appreciate you. I am the blue fragrance guy. That is indeed how I'm viewed. I wear that as a badge of honor. So I get it. It would make sense for me to make a blue fragrance. And don't get me wrong, I would aim for it to be the greatest blue fragrance I've ever smelled. But it still would be a blue fragrance. And it's like, man, I can't wholeheartedly, what I feel would be squandering such a unique opportunity to make a blue when I've got so many blue fragrances. It's unbelievable. All right, scrolling down. So we gotta get out of here. We gotta shut this bad boy down. So let me try to get close to the bottom and see if anything super important, catches my eye on the way down. I apologize that I'm skipping through, guys. God, I'm so far behind. My pleasure. Thanks for the super chat. Scrolling down. Got me into the blue fragrances. I'm off too. I'll see. We'll end it right here on Boz. Just do your blue version of Spice Bomb. I think we're going to get that anyways, Paul. We're going to get that anyways at some point. Just be patient, because they'll do another fresh Spice Bomb. They will. They haven't. After Spice Bomb Fresh, it's been all, evening scents. It's coming. We're going to get another daytime Spice Bomb in the next 3 years. Watch. I've told you guys, it's going to be a blue version of some kind, an elixir and a parfum. Or an elixir or a parfum. But we're going to get something along those lines of those three. Is going to be the next 3 releases. I firmly believe that. And I'll do the I told you so's when the time comes. But on that note, thank you everybody for the super chats. All you members that are eligible for this month's giveaways, make sure to go vote for what you want the main prize to be on your tiers, including those of you on the niche tier. You get to vote for both, obviously. And no stream tomorrow, but Thursday and Friday we will be back. I haven't decided on topics yet, but we're probably going to do a hard hour. It won't be an hour and a half like we did here, because my brother's going to be in town from Texas, so he's staying for a couple of days. And so I still want to hang out with you guys and talk fragrance and everything. I don't want to take away too much time, but we'll do same bat time, same bat channel on Thursday and Friday. And make sure to check out the Fall Classics video today. See if you agree with some of the picks. I know there's some favorites that had to be left off. I mean, because if I'd have did a 30, it'd have been an hour-long video. Because I typically do, when it comes to list videos, around 2 minutes of fragrance. So 15 fragrances is 30 minutes, usually. So I appreciate you guys for being here. If you like Designer Iris, you need this. I'll just leave it at that. Catch you guys on the next one. Yeah, good one.